Yeah, I just thought I'd show something that I found interesting down here in the area that I call the Owlwood in the forest. I had been following a deer trail. I came down this way along a deer trail, and it led me here to where there's evidence of something the deer was doing. He stopped here. He was a buck, and he rubbed his antlers against these young bullberry trees. Eventually, you're ripping this this limb right off, actually breaking at least two of these trees off. I don't know where the other one that he broke off, here it is. So broke off a couple of these young trees, and then and you can see here there's kind of a wedge-shaped area where the snow was cleared because he's probably like kicking up in here and this kind of thing. Then he went out, walked over here and did the same. You see again this wedge here of snow taken out, and here another tree, young tree that's been kind of ripped up and broken off at the top. I see that kind of behavior with the whitetail and mule bucks a lot earlier in the season, toward the end of summer, when they are when they're getting the velvet off of their antlers. They scrape them on these young trees and stuff like this. But I don't see it as often during this, once it gets to be winter and their velvet's already off and they're already in rut and fight mode. And so what I think had happened here with the deer, what I'm proposing, is that he was training at that place. He was training that his velvet should already been gone. And usually when they're rubbing their velvet off, they use willows anyway, because willow has a natural kind of a painkiller in it, and it's it's a little bit painful and bloody for them to take that velvet off. But right now he has his fighting antlers, and he's still taking and rubbing up against those young trees, and vigorously enough to break off the tree. And what I think he's doing, I would have loved to seen it. I would have loved to seen it. But I'm pretty sure he's training in the same manner as I myself use trees to train, and it's been a long time thing in like Kung Fu to utilize trees. The first Wing Chun dummies or wooden man or whatever you want to call it would have just been the trees. And I do a lot of my training year-round with trees as my mock opponent, and I think that's exactly what the deer was doing. He's in a situation now as a buck in rut season where he could be having to fight at any time with another buck. And so right now these other bucks are not going to let him just fool around and spar with them. They may have done so like earlier in the season, but now it's fight time if you're gonna mess around. And so the best way for him to kind of like stay on top of his game or learn some new techniques, or just get used to using those things on top of his head for what they're meant to be used for, is for him to engage with a tree that is basically like a mock set of antlers of another buck. And you see the level at which it got broken off would have been kind of the level of having your head down and locking horns and twisting and ripping and snap those things off. So I think that's pretty cool. It's basically it's a deer's martial arts training station right there that we came across. So just wanted to show that a lesson from the animals, a lesson from the deer in the way that it uses its natural environment for its martial arts training.